My name is Mia Watson. I'm 32 years old. Last week, my father pointed at my bedroom door and said coldly, "Vacate the room right now, Mia. Your older brother Jake and his pregnant wife Brittany need it." Brittany stepped forward, one hand rubbing her belly, looked me up and down with pure disgust, and said, "Honestly, it would be better if you left the house completely. We don't need you here anymore. You're just a burden taking up space." My mother stood there silently, staring at the floor, not a single word of defense. My own family threw me out like trash. I packed my bags without arguing and left. 2 days later, Brittany called me, voice shaking. "Please tell me you didn't send those papers." I sent them. What they didn't know was that they hadn't just kicked out their sister. They had evicted the real owner of the entire house, and that one registered letter was about to destroy everything they thought they owned. This is the moment the invisible daughter finally fought back. Before I go on, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely connect with this story. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from right now and what time it is there. If you've ever been erased or treated like a burden by your own family, stay with me. This gets a lot worse before it gets better. Growing up, the pattern was always the same. Jake could do no wrong. I was the responsible one. When I was 19, working through college, I took the bus every day. $96 a month for that pass. Jake needed a car for his internship. Dad bought him a used Toyota Camry for $8,500. I got more bus tokens. College funds told the whole story. Jake's $85,000 saved since birth. Mine, $12,000 started when I was 14. When I asked why, Mum said they'd had more financial stability when Jake was young. Jake lived at home until 26, never paid rent. When he moved out, Mum cried. When I moved back after college, they charged me $600 a month. Over 7 years, I paid $50,400 to live in what I thought was my parents' house. Grandma Dorothy, my mother's mother, lived with us from 2015 until she died in 2018. She saw everything. In 2017, she pulled me aside. "Your mother is my daughter, and I love her," she said. "But she's making a mistake with you. I won't let you pay for it forever." One August afternoon, Grandma called me in while everyone was at Jake's softball game. She sat in her wheelchair, took my hand, and placed a small silver locket into my palm. Inside was a tiny photo of her and me when I was 5. "Your mother was once the quiet daughter too," she whispered. "My husband favored your uncle so much it nearly broke her. I won't let history repeat itself with you." I wore that locket under my shirt for the next 8 years. She died 6 months later. Then 2 years ago, everything changed. A letter arrived from Pearson Associates law firm. The address line had my name. Only my name. May 12, 2023. I was 30 years and 1 week old. Dear Ms. Watson, per the irrevocable trust established by Dorothy Campbell in 2008, ownership of the property at 418 Meadowbrook Lane transfers to you effective your 30th birthday. I read it 3 times. My house. I called the number. A man answered. Nathan Pierce. We met 6 days later at his office. He slid a folder across the desk. "Your grandmother purchased this house in 1998, $125,000 paid in full. It was always her house, not your parents." He continued. "She gave your parents a life estate. They can live there until they pass, but they can't sell it. They never owned it. When you turned 30, full ownership transferred to you." The handwritten note on page 18, Grandma's shaky writing. "My daughter Linda is a good woman, but she has a blind spot for her son. Mia will need protection from that." Written in 2008. I was 15. "Do my parents know?" I asked. Nathan shook his head. My grandmother had seen it all and built a legal wall to protect me. Then Nathan pulled out another folder. There's a complication. In 2020, your parents took out a home equity line of credit against the property, $85,000. The money went to Jake for a business that never existed. Monthly payment, $1,825. If you don't pay it, the bank can foreclose. Their debt became yours the day you signed that deed. My house, my responsibility, Jake's benefit. I decided to keep paying without telling them. For 2 years, I paid $1,825 every month. Fixed the water heater, updated insurance, paid property taxes, all invisibly. Every month I transferred the payment, then stared at my savings account shrinking. By November 2025, I'd paid $32,850. Jake told everyone at family dinners that he'd been helping Mum and Dad financially. Every cent came from my account. He contributed nothing. Then, on November 5, 2025, Jake came home. His truck was parked in my spot, suitcases on the porch. Inside, my parents sat with Jake and a woman I'd seen in photos. Brittany, blonde, 28, one hand on a rounded belly. Dad said, Jake and Brittany are going through a rough patch. They'll be staying here for a while. 2 days later, Dad appeared in my doorway at 6:30 a.m. Jake and Brittany need more space. We think it's best if they take your room. Brittany said, You have your own bathroom. The natural light is better for the baby. Mum stared at the floor. Dad pointed at my bedroom door. Vacate the room right now, Mia. Jake and his pregnant wife need it. Brittany stepped forward. Honestly, it would be better if you left the house completely. You're just a burden taking up space. Mum stood silent. My own family threw me out like trash. I called my best friend, Sarah Mills. She helped me pack. As I carried the last box out, Brittany appeared in the doorway. Her coat was open, hand on her belly, and the belly didn't move. Too round, too still, like a prop. 3 days later, a mail forwarding service caught a letter about a refinance. $220,000. I hadn't refinanced anything. I went to the bank. The fraud investigator, Claire Reynolds, studied the signature. This isn't even close. Someone traced your signature, forged by Brittany with a fake ID. The money went to Jake's account. He bought $89,000 in Bitcoin and lost 40% when the market crashed. Brittany spent $65,000 on designer bags. The rest paid off his truck and their wedding. Jake had burned through $220,000 in 3 weeks. And now he was living in my house, sleeping in my bedroom, while his wife wore a fake pregnancy belly and called me a burden. I spent 52 days building a case: property ownership, bank fraud, notary fraud, crypto losses, everything. 8 folders, 173 pages. On December 20th, Mum called about Christmas. Brittany is very stressed with the pregnancy. She doesn't want any tension. This Christmas is about that. 23 people at my house without me. I hung up and called my lawyer. I'm ready. January 2nd, 2026. Nathan prepared 5 certified letters: property ownership proof, refinance fraud evidence, the complete truth for my parents, eviction notice, demand for repayment, and a copy for the bank. The calls started Saturday evening. 15 missed calls. Connor 6, Brittany 4, Dad 3, Mum 2. On Sunday, Brittany's voice cracked through the phone. Please tell me you didn't actually send those letters. I asked. Which letter are you most worried about? The deed proving I own the house? The notary's statement proving you impersonated me? Or the police report for bank fraud? She tried bargaining. I told her I knew about the crypto losses, the gambling debt, the fake ultrasound. Connor said you'd never fight back because you never do. I said, I didn't fight back. I built a case. There's a difference. January 8, 2026. I arrived at the house with Nathan. Dad opened the door, face grey. Nathan explained everything. The trust, the life estate, my ownership since 2023. Then, the HELOC. Your son hasn't been paying it, Nathan said. Mia has. $32,850. Dad turned to Jake. You told us you were handling this. Jake said nothing. Then, Nathan laid out the refinance fraud, the forged signatures, the fake ID, the $220,000. The crypto losses, Brittany's luxury purchases. Dad walked to the window, back turned. Jake, did you take out a loan on this house? Yes. Did you take the money? Yes. Did you lose it? Silence. Yes. Mum cried quietly. Jake and Brittany got 30 days to leave. My parents could stay. As I walked to my car, I heard shouting and something breaking inside. At Dad's birthday party in February, I stood up in front of 23 people. This house has been legally mine since June 2023. Grandma left it to me. My parents never owned it. Then I told them about the refinance, the stolen $220,000, the fake pregnancy. My cousin Ashley, a nurse, pulled up the stock photo ultrasound. Brittany's own mother stepped forward, pressed on her daughter's belly, and felt the silicone prop. That's a fake belly, she said. Brittany ran to the bathroom and slammed the door. The divorce papers were filed March 10th. Brittany moved to Ohio. Jake moved into a studio apartment. His truck was repossessed. The bank voided the refinance and pursued Jake for the full amount. Criminal charges were filed. Dad called at the end of March. Can we stay? I let the silence stretch. He apologized. I said yes, but with a lease. $1,200 a month. Standard tenant terms. I moved back into my house on April 1st. 3 rules. No discussing Jake, unless I bring him up, landlord-tenant relationship only, no guilt or manipulation. We pass in hallways like roommates, polite, distant, respectful. 6 months later, I got promoted. Senior accountant. I used part of the raise to refinish the second floor. The room Jake and Brittany claimed for their fake nursery became my home office. I started a vegetable garden. On Grandma's birthday, I visited her grave. You knew exactly what they'd do, I said out loud. The real inheritance wasn't the house. It was knowing that someone had seen me. Someone had valued me enough to plan 15 years ahead. If you're in a family that treats you like you're invisible, document everything. Keep records. Protect yourself legally before you need to. Love doesn't mean letting people use you. Family doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. Grandma Dorothy taught me that. It took me 32 years and losing my own house to understand. But I understand now. The people who truly love you will protect you, not exploit you. You're not alone, you're not crazy, and you're worth protecting.